Okay, so you've got your new tree entered, and all the details you need. So that initial bit of papers and stuff like that, you don't need those anymore. But now we want to go to our action log, and this is when you've got to be really thinking, because this is going to dictate how your system is ever going to work. Certainly when it comes to review dates and costs, if you want to keep those monitoring. So let's just have a look. It's Bonsai ID is 1, Yamadori stump. I have that. If I tick that, it means I have the option at a grade function to print off that page. And if I ever do a YouTube video, I would tick that. And I haven't done one yet, so I won't. But anyway, let's go back to the price. Not putting a price on it, but I could put one here if I want to. So there's no reason I can't do it elsewhere. So I can do it here as well. It's still in development, but if while I'm working on the action log, I don't need to go back to the full bid entry page. I can now do all my updates here as well. So I can do the development, genus, patent size. So again, that may develop and say it becomes a bonsai, and I just change it there. Okay, bid value is here. Now this is the one that's going to change depending on what I put here and what pot I give to it. And I've just got there, it was wired and recovered in 2021. So the first thing I'm going to do, log date, I got it, I say on the 25th of September. And again, with these actions, I've put the actions that cover everything I want to do. So there's reviews, which I won't do yet, but my first one is always administration, other, purchased with wire in place as a collected Yamadori stump, collected in 2021. Now you can keep writing all the way along, and you do have the ability with that if you want to. You can just move that along, and so you can alter if you want. If you've got, here we go. If we take that all the way there, you can actually give yourself more visible space. And in the same way with the activity, you might want to make that smaller so you can see more of what you've written. On the right-hand side, the actual database side, what's actually gone into the tables is there. And if you want to see more of that, again, if you take that across, that information will be featured there. So it means if you're stacking lots of trees, it's sometimes an easier way to scan through what you're looking at. And it will save your last thing when you exit, so it will save that. It'll probably request me to confirm that. And I'm very much about everything has to look perfectly right. Okay, so there we go. So it's collected in 2021. There's the picture. Because I know it's going to need a repot at the moment, it's in decent soil. But the most pressing thing with this is actually it's got wire on it. So I'm going to give myself an action log, and this will be for today's date because this is when I'm actually noticing it. So I'll say 23. Activities are review. So I'm not actually doing anything apart from reviewing. So let's have a look at the review options I've got here. Leave alone for 12 months. That's what I would put if I've just dug a tree up myself. Review other, if I don't know what I'm doing. Prepare for sale, requires new pot, repot. Okay, well, let's do that one first. It will require a new pot, repot, but not for some time. It is in decent soil. And what that's telling me, it's just my way, how my mind works. That's telling me I don't actually have to repot this in any urgency. There's no cost associated with that because I haven't done it, but I will put the review date. If it was collected in 21, that's quite a deep pot. I want it to establish. I'm more than happy with something that I'm going to leave it in that for 3 or 4 years. So unless I actually want to put it into a ceramic pot, I'm going to go for the longest period because I've got so many trees, so I don't want to do anything. So in real terms, if I was looking to put that into a nicer pot, I could put that into a nice pot this year. But I will say I'll review it in my task list. So I want to know about that. So I'm going to say 20th of February, 20th of February. And okay, say you haven't got many trees, so you do want to be putting it into a nice spot. So let's say I won't do it this year, but I will want to look at it next year. That review day is very, very important. And we'll see that in another video about printing off task list. So I've got that. That means I won't forget that. The other thing I need to remind myself about is that it's got wire on it. So that's I see if what review comes up about wire. Review. So there's no review there that talks about wire, But what I do know is branches have been wired. So it's wired, pre-wired. The key there is I don't know exactly when the wire went on, and I've looked at it and it looks fine. That's going to start swelling with the sap flow in the April time, so I definitely want to be looking at that the 1st of April. So now I've got a bring up on the wiring, which is brilliant. Okay, so that's the two things that are most important. There's no other thing. Carving, I might do a review about carving it for the summer, and let's just do that. So the other thing I know I will do, so we'll go review other. So what I've got prepare for sale, pot, pruning, redesign. It's not really a redesign. So you can return something. Again, there's got some that are in pots that I actually think they should have been allowed to go in the nursery for longer, or maybe they want to air layer something. So that'd be a review, but this is going to be a review other. And my review is simply going to say this will be subject to carving. Again, so I'll put a review on that one and we'll say, I don't know, 20th of July 23. Okay, so I've now got three review functions that are going to come up, 2 of them this year, 1 next year. So if I don't ever think about that tree again, so long as I print task lists off, I won't forget it. No. So we'll leave it at that. So I haven't done anything with it. It's winter, I won't be doing anything with it. When we get later in the year, I'll show you about actions and activities. But to give you a heads up, if you prune it, where say we're getting to the end of February, March, and we're going to do some pruning, bud selection and cleanup. That'll be where I cut back to the buds that I want, and I'm getting rid of all the dead material that's died over winter. So I'd select that. I'd put that there, a date, and write whatever notes I would, and then to get the process running, whatever date I did it this year, that would be my review date for exactly the same thing next year. So then you find it becomes self-managing your bring-ups. You can, if you want to, if you've written something you don't like, if you highlight the line, like you would with any Excel or anything like that, right-click, delete that record, it'll ask you that, and you say yes, and then that will have cleared that. So there's no problem with doing that. Save. Okay, so I've got this stuff in there. We need to have a look at a pot. Just thought I'd take you back to this issue I talked about with photographs. There is some function limitations to this system. You'll only get the one picture up, so I've actually put in a second tree, and we'll just go back again. I can look at that. It was a Curtin Aster clump style, acquired in 2015. Entry age at that time was 3. I purchased it. I entered a new place, that was Pennell's Nursery. So now in that list, I've actually got 2 places. It cost me £2.50. It was small. I've put a price, what I would be selling it for, and it's eligible. But in this instance, added 5 photographs. Depending on open which photo I want to see, I can see how the photo looks, etc. like that. And that's one of the ways you can look at the photos. Just click on it and see how it's developed. And the limitation is it will always show, but it will sort numerically. So 1 comes before all the others. So even though I pick that one, it will still show that one. So your numbering system, and this was the first thing I found, you want to think ahead, is your numbering system should always reflect which way you want to show them. So if you know that you're going to be taking another picture the next year, then whatever's at the front needs to be the one that comes out, because it then automatically default to it. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter how many times you select different ones, it'll show you what it looked like, but the main picture that will come up will always be the one that's alphabetically or chronologically first. There. Again, you have the ability within the action log to change your photos, add or remove a photo, open, save as, save all. You can also, if I wanted to add a photo, what I did with that, you can actually grab the whole lot and then open, and that'll add all of them in one go. So they were all added in one go. So that's how you can add multiple photos. Yes, you're able to look at them by just double clicking. So you can, with, if it's on a stick, you can have all your photo files actually on the database. Yeah, so long you get your numbering sorted out correctly, you'll always have the latest photo being the one that'll come up. And again, trial and error will show you how to do that. Yeah, so that's about photographs. And again, if I was looking to out on my main computer, they're the original photographs. But as I say, if I've got the database saved on a file, on a stick, and I then take it to another computer, I don't need to have those. It's already saved within the database itself. So you'll always have those photos that way as well. So if you actually lose your main file of photographs, your database is another way of having backed up photographs.